Hello everybody and welcome to this weekend prep for the week commencing 19th of May 2025. We're just going to quickly go over what happened last week. We had a bit of an island week. So Monday saw us gap higher and then we continued up. We're now trading inside the pre-breakdown balance. We're going to have a look at all those points that I just made, and the interesting stuff that happened on Friday close was basically we had a downgrade from one of the ratings agencies, bringing everything into line, and we had a bit of a panic sell going into the close. Now, if you've seen some of my other tweets from the weekend, I would recommend you go and have a look at what happened in 2011 and 2023 when we last had downgrades. Don't just look at the equities. Also have a look at the bonds, see how that played out. So very, very different scenarios, but generally after downgrades we have seen the market's under pressure. So I would have a look at what's happened. That might give you a good heads up as to what's to come. So just have quickly a quick overview of what's been going on. Basically, Trump tariff talks. We had this big breakdown, and this is basically election, pre-election and post-election balance into the election. Made a high just ahead of his inauguration, and then since then into February we broke down on the announcement of tariffs. April we found a low, pretty strong buying since then, really strong recovery, and we've basically been going up ever since. We've recovered the 50% extreme high to tariff low. That was a question that we were asking ourselves not long ago. Last week we were asking ourselves whether or not we can regain the 200-day moving average, which we have done, 58.76. So this is basically a brief outline of what's been going on. But now we have this this downgrade. I wouldn't jump to any conclusions if I was you. I would play things as you see them, and not come to any conclusions before you've seen what the market's willing to do. Okay, so into Friday, pretty strong into OPEX. OPEX tends to be the crux of the movement, as does the month end. So that's just something to bear in mind as well. OPEX is now out of the way. Let's have a look quickly at the weekly prep. So this is just basically what happened. This is a look at the weekly. As always, on a Monday, I'm always looking at the weeklies for information. We already might have some, which was that big liquidation on Friday into the close. Just a few minutes into the close, we went from trading 59.75, which was basically the settlement, down into 40s, 35 points lower. That was a big, so we're ejecting away from settlement. That is a key area to mark and watch, Friday's settlement. Now, given the news, I would expect all the panic artists to come in, and there will be some kind of a gap on this reopen on Sunday. Given downgrades, I'm expecting some kind of a gap. The question is whether or not we gap into and hold, or briefly break, or do we gap below last week's POC? Okay, last week had a P distribution. It looks like a P. So basically, we gapped up from the Friday close, or actually a bit lower here, and then carried on driving higher, found some resistance, but the bottom of the upper distribution P bit is around about Tuesday's lows. So I'm going to be paying attention to see how we trade into those Tuesdays lows, which kind of mark out the weekly value area low. So I'm really keen to see how we trade into this weekly value area low. The value area of last week will be important to watch out for. Should it break, then it's down through this cave potentially, and we'll be looking to take out last week's lows. Now, I've marked out the gap. Last week was a gap opening on Monday. The Sunday we open, we had this big drive open. I'll be looking to see how we test into that gap. Okay, this will tell me a lot. Okay, don't forget this market has been rallying for quite some time now. Maybe it's time for it to basically just test back. If we do find an early bounce from this gap, that could set us up some return back higher, maybe balance before we go and start trading back inside and above 6,000, which we were knocking on the door of on Friday. But so let me just quickly have a look. So this gap area is going to be of importance. Okay. If we find that we find buyers at last week's POC, so basically we gap down, we find buyers at the POC, this would really set us up for, I think, a little bit of churning as some sellers come in to try to offload after this disastrous news from the downgrade. Don't read too much into that. Okay, take what I just said with a pinch of salt. So some sellers will be coming in wanting to offload, given the fact that we've had this huge rally. But you know, whether or not buyers meet that demand, that will be telling. If we hold above POC, this will be really, really bullish and sets up for this island week to break to the upside. Okay, so that is one possible scenario. Should we hold above POC, and you know, willing to entertain brief looks back through into Tuesday's lows, which is around 58.64. Below there, I think there could be some really strong liquidations down to take that tail from last week. So this little area here to be tested. Should we take out Tuesday's lows? Let's have a quick look at what I've just been talking about. So that gap's really important. I'm expecting a gap. Last week's POC is really, really important. Coincides kind of overlapping with the weekly VWAP as well. Okay, all the levels are on here. I've kind of written out on here why it's important. That weekly value area low, why is it also important? It's a number that I highlighted at the beginning of this video, which is the 200-day moving average. So that area is really, really important. Drop below 200-day moving average, hold below 200-day moving average, hold below last week's value area low, and then we could set us up for a test into this gap. Once we get into that gap, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be looking at all the areas and values that I tend to look at, which are going to be things like any exposed VWAPs, low volume nodes, value area highs, value area lows, highs, lows, POCs, just MGI from those preceding candles. Okay, let's have a quick look at the weekly profiles to see what the areas that we're looking at where we need to pay attention to. It's going to be Friday's lows, those singles which coincide with the weekly POC, 59.8, 59.6, that could be there. Then can we take out the next low? And then we've got Wednesday's overnight lows and Tuesday's low. Okay. This is going to be big area that I'm focusing on. We'll be looking for short retests from the weekly POC. This is 50. So there's going to be a gap. Whether or not we get below this area, last week's POC, or above it, hold above it, I'm looking for yeah, good luck with your prep for the week.